All right, all right. What's going on, everybody? We are live. And in case you are wondering who I am, my name is Antonio Bryce. I am the author and creator of the comic book series brand. We are currently on Indiegogo. We have raised nearly $70,000 thanks to the kindness of folks such as yourself. And I have another special guest here today. He is the artist and the creator on a series called Bloodhunt. And looks like he is fully funded, but hey, anybody could always use a few extra shekels. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Simon Pothier. Please tell me I said that right.
You said it right.
Oh,
Hello.
But
Hello, everyone, and thank you for having me on, Antonio.
It is no problem, my friend. How are you today?
I'm doing fine. I went to bed earlier because usually I'm up till 5, 6, but when I knew that I was up this morning, I'm like, I'll go to sleep earlier.
Hey, when I got things to do, yeah, I'll change my sleep around. Especially I had something come up a few weeks ago, and had a big stream to do with a guy who was going to interview me and Kanan, and he had over 22,000 YouTube subscribers. So I was like, yeah, I need to make sure I'm available when that happens. So, this is
you don't want to miss your wake up call.
No. And I was making sure, when I talked to Kanan, I was like, because Kanan just sleeps when he wants to sleep. He's like, I don't know what Kanan's schedule is, because one day I know, if anybody's been following this channel for a while, sometimes they notice that I had a few morning streams with Kanan that just happened to be Kanan was up. And then I had a couple of afternoon streams with Kanan because Kanan was up. Kanan just sleeps when he wants to sleep. So when I need, when I need him to be somewhere, I make sure I know to give him the exact time, and that way when I let him know, I was like, hey, 3:00 Eastern Standard Time, I need you to be available. And he'll go, okay, cool. And then he'll show up.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Yeah. So yeah, that's like you artist types, got to make sure that we get everything on the same page. But let's actually take a look at your book here, because it looks like you first of all, let me make sure, because I want to see, can I get this on the screen? Well, I've got screen share, so let me.
You want me to do it?
Oh, do you already have it pulled up?
Yeah, I'm already screen sharing. Yep.
Okay, well that works even better. All right, so let's do it. Let's actually take a look at your book and see what you got going on. Hello to everybody following up into the chat. I see y'all out there. Chris Evans, what's going on? How y'all doing?
Hello. Oh yeah, Adam. We got Adam Post too.
Yes.
So hello, Adam. Hello, Chris.
Hello, Adam. Hello, Chris. Hello, Chris, everybody.
Chris is actually one of my backers for the werewolf tier.
Oh, okay.
To be a werewolf in the book, yeah.
All right. So hopefully, let me see. Okay, so you got this. You got your campaign pulled up. You're at $4,090. Yep. And let's actually take a look at it and run through some of the perks and everything.
So, you want me to just give a quick pitch of it?
Yeah, of course. Just do whatever, sell your book, man.
So, the quick pitch would be Bloodhunt is the story of Vincent, a badass elite assassin who gets betrayed and turned into a vampire. He will discover a supernatural world hidden in plain sight. While settling into his new abilities, the assassin rains hell upon anyone standing between him and the vengeance he craves. So when he gets turned, he discovers that there's a world hidden in plain sight, meaning that normal humans don't see the supernatural creatures, but supernatural creatures can see each other in that world. So when he gets turned, that's when you get to see this. He's gonna be walking down the street, and you see like a normal person with a little dog, and then a demon dog, and then he starts noticing a gargoyle instead of a person, just a beggar. And this is how he discovers that there's a different world, and it has its own rules that he will have to learn.
So I'm trying to remember. This kind of reminds me of what was it? Is it They Live or something? I'm trying to remember the one. It was Roddy Piper, and he
Yeah,
could put these he could put the glasses on, and when he put the glasses on, he could see the
yeah,
world the way it really is.
yeah. That's it. Or a bit like, do you remember what was it? The hold on, the Grimm, the show Grimm. Remember?
Oh yeah. I remember that, man. That ran for a little while though. I think they had like 100 and
Yeah,
some episodes. Yeah.
yeah. It's
Mm.
a bit the same principle as in like, under dire stress, like a human could maybe see them, like they can make themselves seen, but the idea is the law says you're not supposed to be seen.
Mm.
Hmm.
Okay. So
So
I'm
just,
digging your concept already. Okay, keep going, keep going. You getting
you
my
know,
interest.
a little quick comparison pitch would be like, take John Wick mixed with Vampire Hunter D and Underworld would be a
Like
bit
all
like,
three of those things. Okay.
yeah, yeah. And I'm a big fan of John Carpenter, so you can imagine, like
Mm.
like you can see here. Uh, Hold on, let's just go down quickly to the violent part.
Mm.
He's having a little bite there.
I see you, brother. I see you. Okay.
The little like slide there. Then this is where backers will start showing up because people can die in the book. So I left those little blue outlines.
And let me ask you this, because okay, you're this is your concept, right? Or you the because I know you have a writer on this, but you came up with this idea, or did you guys come up with it together, or how did
It first started up that I had like taken like a bit more than a year off trying to decide what I was gonna do towards comics, you could say, because I've been doing indie comics like as a part time since 2009
you?
here in Canada. So he came to me and he's like, "Would you like to do a horror? Because I've always been doing fantasy and sci-fi, right? I have like Not the American Wolf Dragon. That's what I was working on here." And he's like, "Would you like to do something in a horror?" And he pitched an idea of the a simple a hitman that goes on a simple job and ends up getting killed by a vampire.
Oh, okay.
So we went like, okay, so we let it sleep, like rest for a while, and I came up with an idea, and I'm the one that actually wrote the main idea of the guy that survived, but making him the character called Vincent after Vincent Price. Designed the
Oh,
character, making him like wanted to be like the baddest hitman in the world, so he actually looks like death. So I wrote the story, but I have a co-creator and a co-writer, and a kiss. He gave the little spark there that made it possible.
yeah, okay. Well, I can respect that because a lot of times we see um, that only the artist will get credit for doing certain things, and that's why I definitely had my ideas for brand already laid out, but without Kanan like breathing life and creating those designs and everything, it wouldn't be what it is now. I could,
Oh,
it
dude,
definitely would have a
when when
different flavor to it if
when I showed up to him and gave him the pitch, you went like, "Oh, dude, this is yours. It's all yours." I'm going, maybe, but because you're the one that instigated it, yeah, I'm gonna leave you as the co-creator. He goes, seriously? Go, yeah. So he's also the co-writer.
hey, that's beautiful. I like that. That's the way it should be.
Yep.
Let's see. So who because I like whoever your colorist is. Who's doing the colors on your art?
On the cover, it's me.
I'm talking about your colors.
Yep, it's my colors.
Oh
And
wow,
and
your
on
color.
that and on that one, I had a little advice from Mr. Cal and Mr. Passion for Drawing. They gave me a little pointers to pimp it up a bit.
Okay.
I'll show you the one before. That
Yes,
was the
please.
the first. This was the first cover. So
Okay.
they told me like you to do the little thing to make it pop a little bit more.
Yeah. Okay. Go back to the previous version again. Okay. And then yeah, because it does look a slightly muted, so it definitely looks better when you do the other version. Yeah. Yeah. It does. It really stands out a lot more. So that's definitely good advice.
Yeah, Cal came in and goes, "Can I give you a few suggestions?" I go, "Yeah, of course. Are you sure?" I go, "Come on, I want to get better. People that don't take criticism don't get better."
Mm.
So he came in and he goes, "Try this." And he showed me like the red layout with the blue. He goes, "Try it, play with that." I'm like, okay. So this is what it ended up doing. And I did that like the day before yesterday, and I just updated it.
Okay. All right. So all right, I like that. I like that. Okay, so let's actually let's look at some of your perks and see what all you're offering to our glorious backers out here.
Of course. So here the featured one is Bloodhunt All In, and the All In is you get the actual colored cover, and you get the variant cover. And the variant cover I will show you right now instead of waiting a little bit
Ooh, okay, okay. Yeah.
because it's in progress because it's actually gonna be part of the 5,000 stretch goal. See, this is the variant cover, and you're gonna have one backer that's gonna show up here and another one here because at 5K I randomly pick two backers and they show up on the variant cover.
Oh wow. Okay. So you'll be immortalized on the variant.
Yep, getting killed by Vincent
Mm,
for
love it.
free.
Okay, that's cool. I definitely like that. All right.
In the
So
all in, you get both covers. You get an exclusive limited art print, which is right here.
okay.
They will be
Okay.
numbered and signed, and you get an exclusive Bloodhunt logo sticker.
Okay. Hey
At
man, I'm digging this. All right.
thank
Getting
you.
my attention. All right. It's looking really cool, man.
At 15, you get the digital, and I will mention that the digital copy will only get sent when all the physical copies are sent, and every physical backers also get the digital.
Okay. I
At
got you.
25, you get the book signed plus the sticker of the exclusive cover because that one is just for the campaign. It will not be the final cover of the book when I try to distribute it. This
Now,
is
are you're doing, but you're doing the full cover and the variant yourself? No guest artists or none of that stuff, or
not so far. No, everything is me.
all right. It looks like you got a few shekels to play with so far, at least. Fortunately, looks like because this isn't your first campaign. You tried to fund this before, right?
Yes, I did. I launched. I think it was in March, if I'm not mistaken. I launched it for 2 months, and I was really hoping of making it. I had set it up to have one colored version and one black and white. So that's why my goal was at 5,000 from the go because it's actually printing two books. It's not just a different cover, right? So I kind of shot myself in the foot on that one, you could say.
Mm,
And since that, I had trouble getting noticed, even though I started promoting it 6 months before I launched, because I've been working on this since 2008, 18. Like, I first planned it, designed it in December 2017, and I started working on it in 2018. I finished the first version of 48 pages on November 2018, but I decided to re-ink and redraw everything to just bring it up a notch.
okay.
Just kick,
Let me ask you this: are you actually doing this art traditionally, or are you doing everything digitally?
That's done digitally. I have a 22-inch U1 there, and I just use the same technique as traditional. You
Okay.
understand? Like I
Love
don't
it.
no models. I just use the same technique. So that's why people can't really make the difference.
Okay. Okay. This is why I was like, one thing I will say, because Kanan works primarily digitally,
Mm-hmm.
and we were able to raise a decent amount of capital by offering his original art pages for sale to the backers, and I think we sold like 13 of them. 13 pages of traditional art, and the rest of the book is done digitally. You know,
Hmm.
yeah, so yeah, we were able to, offer, you could do, buy a page for a couple $100 or whatever, and then yeah, you'd have to draft it traditionally. But I've found, we've got a few art collectors in the community that are definitely looking for that. So it's just
Good
something
idea.
that helped me.
Good idea. I could do that for I could do some in the last 10 pages because technically I'm 42 pages done because I decided to redo 2 pages, but I only have 10 pages left to do on that one unless I reach the 15K where the book gets extra pages.
Okay, and so okay, so yeah, you just said something. So how many was the book total? 52 pages right now, or
No, right now it's 64 pages.
oh wow.
I had 54 done. I'm just, while I'm promoting, I decided to redraw 4 of them. we are artists when we go back on our shit. I don't
And
like that.
another thing I would tell you is
Yeah.
like, you know how you got where you can draw the backers on the cover.
Yep.
You could put that cover up for sale. You could actually do a traditional cover and put it up for like say $800, $1,000, and you'd be surprised. I saw that Clint from Sweetcast he did that. He put the Downcast cover up, sold it. I'm the person that happened to drop $1,000 and bought the Shinobi Sasquatch cover. I had to have it though. It just the Shinobi Sasquatch cover just looked so
You got
impressive.
it? Sweet.
Um, yeah, so yeah, I bought he had it up for sale, and a big fan of Rob's work.
Pencil and ink?
It the pictures they've shown me of it, it looked like he fully inked it and everything. But I mean, the pages that we've done on our campaign were just the pencils because Kanan was going to ink everything digitally. So
That's why I'm asking, because I think I might do that for the last 10 pages. At least do a few pages in there like traditionally penciled, and then ink them and have originals. And I really like your idea for the variant cover. I think I
yeah,
will.
that's why I'm just throwing out ideas because like I said, I want to see, like Ethan said something to me about a year ago. He was like, I just want to see you guys succeed, and this is the same thing. So many of you guys that have launched after myself, I definitely want to see you guys succeed. And there's potential for extra money to be here. It's like if you just gotta fix it, and you gotta tweak certain things. Things that aren't working. Maybe lose those, add new things to the campaign. But original art is always, that you can offer like little, small commissions. You can, like a 6x9 or whatever, and just do a little sketch and something small that will fit in the package.
Mm-hmm.
And charge a comic plus a sketch and charge $80, $100 for it or whatever. And people want to see you get funded. It's just you just gotta add those little tiers in there. And
It's a thing I didn't have in the prior one, and I did in that one where you get the $100 tier. You also get a 6x9 sketch, or 8 by yeah.
Okay, so you do have, okay, that's what I'm saying. It's like any of this stuff that you can do to offer, your backers the art at a premium. Because like I said, if you just do, like, you could lay out, on the 11x17 Bristol, do your layout for the page, put your pencils in there, scan it, and you know and just
Mm-hmm.
add everything. So it's I don't know. It's just something I thought about because I'm really impressed with how our penciled pages have come. Kanan's about to start inking those pages, and
Oh, he's
but
great.
yeah, uh,
I've been following him since what was the name of the Uber?
Uber,
What?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah. I've been following him since then. I like his stuff.
yeah. Oh, don't let him hear that because he gets such a yeah. I was like, man, the ego on that guy. I'm just trying to get him. Just try to get him where he'll just like calm down, Kanan. Just calm down. You ain't all that, Kanan. And I was just yeah, it's just something I think about. But no, I love Kanan.
Yeah,
It's
but it's part of the drive. It's like one of my friends says, goes, sometimes we artists we can get a bit arrogant.
just a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, he
Just
goes,
a
you
little
guys
bit.
you guys may not notice it, but like he said, he goes, it's something that you need to have that drive. It's like when you're feeling low, you're gonna listen to a certain type of music that's gonna give you that little push or drive sometimes. And it's a bit
Mm,
the same thing, because if you just keep, because often us artists, we have that little tape on our shoulder saying, "You can do better. You can do better. You can do better." We're our
mm.
worst enemies sometimes, though. Yeah, sometimes some of them develop a high ego. Some of us just stay a little bit arrogant.
No, but actually, yeah, no, because as I was, you had me thinking because I wanted to actually, I've been showing some of these pencils that Kanan has been doing,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to. show some of them if it'll actually load up on the screen. Because yeah, Kane has been just knocking these things out, and I just love them. Let's see, yeah, these are all going to backers right here. This is Dawn and our little pimp character Fame,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, so it's just like all these pages. I was just like, as he started showing me, I was like, man, these are beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could own all these pages. This would be great, but he's just. I really like this image here where he's got the little raven right
Mm.
here at the top, and then we see main characters. I was like, this is whoever gets these. Like I said, Kanan has really put in a lot of effort on these pages, and
Yeah,
uh,
it's paneling and yeah, it's amazing.
yeah, I'm just I really love what he did with all these. Just I'm just so proud of him and the work that he's done, and I
You know,
couldn't be more pleased with him. I mean, he's a brilliant artist.
yeah.
He's got
And
a
like I'm the type that usually have an issue on in comics with photorealistic type of images, but
mm,
his style is so stylized though that makes it so nice. It just works well,
mm. Yeah, that was like
right?
mm, man. I'm just yeah, like I said, this is looks like your project is definitely going better this time,
Yes.
and that is that's good, man. Because okay, so you said you had been working, or you had kind of dabbled in indie comics what around 2009 or so. I mean, tell me
Yeah.
about your history. What would you start?
Um, younger, I was try and get recruited by Marvel and DC for a while.
Ah,
And after getting like turned around, being called a poster boy or a Jim Lee wannabe or whatever, I ended up taking a few years, going like, okay, maybe that's not for me. So concentrating on raising my kids and having my job and drawing still a bit until I met Michael Turner in 2004 or something like that.
oh, you
And
actually met Michael Turner? Wait, you went to a con or something and met him?
I went to the fan expo because everybody was telling me that I should not quit, that I should be getting back into it, right?
Mm,
So I had many friends going, you need to go to Toronto because I'm in Montreal. They go to Toronto and go show your stuff again, right? And I met a few people, John Romita, Simon Bisley, great guys, gave me great tips, and Bisley's awesome. Um, but I when I met Turner, that was special because he actually took time to ask me to stay after the show and give me pointers because he actually said that I needed to work on my own stuff and get back into it because I was wasting my talent in a way. So we spent like over like about 2 hours where he goes, okay, instead of trying to be in DC and Marvel, I'm sure you created something when you were a kid. Go, yeah, I
mm.
had a character called the Wolf Dragon, part of something called the Everard Chronicles. Goes, tell me about it. So I tell him the story, and he goes, and your title's called the Everhard Chronicles. Go, yeah, and you have a character called in there the Wolf Dragon. Go, yeah, go. Screw that title. The title is the Wolf Dragon now. I go, okay. So you're gonna go upstairs to your room, yeah, and tomorrow I want to see you with at least 2 to 3 page laid out. So guess what I did? I went up and spent the entire night up, and first thing in the morning I was at his table. And he goes, okay, dude. It goes, okay, that's freaking awesome. Then he gave me a few pointers, and I met him like that 3 to 4 years in a row before he passed.
Oh man, that
And
is
he, yeah,
fantastic, man. I love to hear that because Michael Turner was definitely a favorite of mine. I had the Witchblade stuff,
mm,
Fathom, yeah, and I was just like, and then obviously he went freelance and he started doing all kind of sweet variant covers for like Marvel and DC
mm-hmm,
and yeah, a lot of the Civil War. There was like a Thor Civil War variant, and I was just oh man, it was like right when Wizard magazine was still a thing.
mm-hmm.
Oh god.
One of the best thing I can tell you about him is, and usually when I tell that story, I get a bit choked up. But the last time I went, it was really hard to get there. Right, it was one of those hard days. I had to hire a babysitter because I got 2 kids. I'm a single dad.
Mm.
So I went over there, and it was like really, really, really like, last money to just get there because I wanted to go.
Mm.
And he canceled on that day, and I got a message going, he's still gonna see you though. Like what?
Oh, so he was. Oh, so he kept in contact with you, even though he wasn't going to make it to the show.
But I was there, and I got a, and he said that it was canceled, and I got a message on my phone, and he goes, he's still gonna see you though. No, what? So I went to see him, and he was at the table waiting for me. No, he came with his crutches, and you saw that he was really not feeling well.
Oh
And
man,
that guy still took time to come and meet me. And
man, that's beautiful.
yeah, right. And sorry. And
Mm.
a few months later, I learned that he passed. So that was 2008. So
Oh man,
2009, I published a Wolf Dragon like as a fanzine. You know what a fanzine is?
yeah, 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 yeah.
And it was the first time I published a Wolf Dragon. That was me coming out here as a independent creator. And first thing you saw in the cover was dedicated to Michael Turner. And I do that in every book I do. So expect it in Bloodhunt too.
Man, that's beautiful, man. I love to hear that. That's awesome, man. I was just because I remember his death when it came. You know, it's like him and I think what was it, Mike Waringo, around the
Uh,
same time, and I just, oh man, I just like some of these great artists from when I was like
there was another one.
16, 17 years old. You know.
There was another one, and that one is one that his name is Clément Sauvé,
Mm.
and the guy did all the designs for Army of Two 2. He did some of the GI Joe Renegade, and he's one of Elliot's heroes. We talked about him once, and I met him, and he was an amazing artist. He used to do concept art for video games, and he worked on some books, on comics, and he used to work with what's his name? It's not coming back. One of those Montreal DC artists that work on Swamp Thing there. That's a French
Mm.
name too. Uh, it's not coming back. Anyways, and he same thing happened to him, but very cheaply because he started having stomach pains, and within 5 months he passed.
Hmm.
And
Man.
him too at 35, Turner at 36. Yeah,
Mm.
can't. So can we swear on your channel a bit?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Fuck
yeah. You can
cancer.
swear as long as it's not, you know.
So fuck cancer.
Definitely fuck cancer. I agree with you on that. And I'm someone, you know, my mother passed in 2016, but she had leukemia,
You too.
and you know, it was in remission, and then you know, it just seemed like you know, it'd be down for a little while and start. It was just you know, right there at the end, she just got so frail and just couldn't, you know.
Yeah, I know. I lost
Yeah.
my mom in 2015. I launched a campaign for the anthology of all the short stories I did on Kickstarter in 2016. It failed, but the thing is, I was not really into it because halfway through I learned my mom was dying,
Mm,
and she had five. She had 2 months, but she lasted five. She waited until my birthday,
mm.
and she passed in my arms.
Oh wow.
So I can yeah, I can pretty much understand that mother getting thrilled, and you're just happy that she's not suffering anymore, even though it's a big loss.
Absolutely, definitely, and yeah, definitely. My condolences on your loss, and
Same here for you.
yeah, and I just, man, this is you know, I start thinking because it's sad that my mother's gone, but
Hmm.
if she hadn't passed, it was because I came up with Brand in 1998, and I
Hmm.
just kept coming back to it, and I put it off, and I kept coming back to it, and I put it off, and when she passed, I was like, you know what? I can't keep waiting on this because life is too short. You never know. I'm not promised to be here tomorrow.
Hmm.
And it gave me that kickstart to start like actually going full steam ahead with it. And then that's when I started. That's when I you know first encountered Elliot Fernandez because he was one of the first artists I approached to you know to possibly do some concept art for Brand and everything. And then you know he was just too busy at that time. And then you know it was him and another artist named Sahad Shaw, and I saw I was looking for artists all over the place, and um, And then I came across Kanan White on Instagram. I think he had actually liked something that Elliot drew.
Mm-hmm.
That's because I was for Elliot's page at that time. I mean, he's got like 125,000 followers on Instagram now, but at that time I think he only had about 45,000. But I think Kanan was one of them. He followed, and so what I was doing, I noticed that a lot of artists follow other artists.
Mm-hmm.
So I would look. I'd go on Elliot's page, and then I'd see who was liking his photos, and then so I would highlight and check to see who would like the art that he posted, and sure enough, there were a ton of those people. He'd get 200 or 300 likes, and a huge chunk of them were other artists. They were other artists, they were colorists, they were letterers, they were people that were working some form of fashion in comics. And one of those people I happened to see was a guy by the name of Kanan White. And I clicked on that link and I looked on his Instagram, and he didn't have 45,000 people following him. But I saw all this. I said, "Oh my God, what is this?" I was looking at all the heavily detailed art and everything, because that's one thing. People like, why is this taking so long? And I was like, you look at how heavily rendered Kanan's art is. He's not going to just spit art out like that. You're not going to be able to do all that shading and all that heavy but every page, and it just looks amazing when he turns it in. He gets to do all that detail. And he was like, I want, if these people are paying for these books, I want to give them their money's worth, and I want to make sure that they get, and like I said, I've done 17 updates, it's like, so I'm always shocked when people go, is this book coming out? What's going on? I was like, dude, I've done 17 updates. I've done a bunch of, people that follow me on Twitter. I've tweeted out a bunch of the art and panels and all this. It's pretty clear to, I'd say 98% of the people that there is a book being worked on. But I just, like I said, we're on the last 8 pages. Thank the Lord.
On 48, right? You're on 48.
Yeah, it's 48 pages. There might be a couple of character files in the back or something like that, because some people are like, make it like 52 or something, but we've got some concept art that I thought about throwing in the back or something. So might do that. But I have an extremely bossy young lady in the chat by the name of Amanda Lamella, and she is the editor on my comic book brand. And yes, you are very bossy, Amanda. And she wants to know,
yes,
do you like hockey? Are you a hockey fan?
Not really, no.
Oh my God, I'm shocked by that. I love that. Todd McFarlane's from Canada, and he's a big hockey fan. He actually owned, I think it was part of the
he's a big baseball fan.
Because he played Pac-12 or he was Pac-10 at the time when he played,
and he has most of their Wayne Gretzky collection.
He was what was it, the home run ball from Mark McGuire? He paid like $4 million for it, and everybody's like, who would spend $4 million?
It's called promotion.
It worked because if you watch, I think it's Todd McFarlane, The Devil You Know or something. It's a small documentary. Someone actually uploaded it up on YouTube for free.
Yeah, I saw it.
And I watched it. It's where he actually talked about, one of the people thought he was nuts when he spent all those millions on the baseball.
He made way more.
Because he was like, it put me in the conference rooms with a lot of these. He said a lot of these guys weren't taking me seriously, and then they saw that I got real money, and so they was like, "Hey, Todd, let's talk."
Yeah, it opened the big guys room.
and that's the thing. A lot of people may not realize. I actually think, because he's got Todd McFarlane Studios, which he publishes Spawn through, but I think his Todd McFarlane or McFarlane Toys is actually the more valuable property that he owns.
Yep, it is.
Because you look at all the licenses that he has. He has an NFL license, Major League Baseball license, NHL license.
movie.
Yeah. All the different movies, and because he's got like The Walking Dead, he's got Fortnite,
Mhm.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
He even had the Rick and Morty's.
Yeah, he still got Rick and Morty, Halo, Metal Gear, not Metal Gear. Well, actually, I think he did have some Metal Gear
Yes,
toys,
he
but
did. Yep.
I was thinking about Gears of War though. It's like he's got so many licenses.
Do you remember the entire license that he did of Dragons? I bought them all.
Oh my god, yeah. And I was like, yeah, that's why I'm saying it's I really think a lot of people sleep on McFarlane. They don't realize that because I think he's got a net worth of like $300-400 million personal.
Hmm.
And then you look at all the stuff, because Spawn, let's see, I think it was Spawn 298, and I was on Comic-Con and I looked, and I think they sold about 55,000 copies. I suspect that Spawn 300 is going to do 100,000 because he's got all the big bells and whistles on Spawn 300. He's got at least 6 or 7 different variant covers.
Jim Lee, Greg Capullo in it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. He had mentioned Jim Lee was going to do something for Spawn, and then he was at Las Vegas about a month and a half ago at the retailers conference. And when he put his he talked, it's up on his Facebook page. He talked for like 20 something minutes. And when he was showing all the video and stuff, he infamously left Jim Lee out of the contributors to Spawn 300. That being said, they just took a photo together, I think yesterday at San Diego. Obviously, they're still friends. He took photos with Jim Lee, took photos with Rob Liefeld. He took a couple of him and Rob was hanging out. He was kicking it with Rob Liefeld. That's his spirit animal. I don't know. It's like and people thought I said this a couple months ago. I was on the stream with Elliot, and I said, I think for me, if I was going to do like a 90s style book, the perfect artist for me would be like Rob Liefeld inked by Todd McFarlane. Because I like the way Todd inked over Rob. They have very similar style, but I think Rob does a lot of crazy action shots. But I think Todd really does something with his ink work over Rob. And I just thought it just looks fantastic.
But there's the fact that every time that Todd McFarlane inks something, he puts a little bit of himself in the drawing of his style in it. Because did you ever see the Jack Kirby ink by McFarlane?
No, I'm surprised I missed it because I know he met Kirby a few times, and I know there was an Image documentary where they were talking about leaving Marvel, and they called Jack Kirby's house, and they wanted to get Kirby's blessing. They wanted that thumbs up from the king, and his wife picked up the phone. It was Jack Kirby's wife, and she picked up the phone when they called, and because he was busy drawing or something, and she went and talked to Jack. Right, she put him on hold and went and talked to Jack. For whatever reason, he didn't get up and stop what he was doing and come talk on the phone to him. But he came back and she came and she picked the phone back up and she talked to him for a few more minutes, and she was like, Jack is really excited for you guys. And I have seen this image that you got. Hold on, let me make sure everybody can check it out. I have seen this. Okay. I was like, yeah, let me put that on you. Bam.
They also did the same thing for, I think it was Dragon Force, I think, when he did a one issue at Image before he passed.
Yeah, because I have seen this. Because she said, I'm trying to think that it's on Sci-Fi World on YouTube. It's like a 5 or 6 part Image documentary where they talk to and it's great. I watched the whole thing, and I think they told that story. There's also the one that they did on Robert Kirkman's television show, The Secret History of Comics, where he did an hour on Image, and I really. Yeah, well, I mean, the whole thing is like they had really funny stories. Like Robert Kirkman had me cracking up when he was talking about Rob Liefeld, because he's talking about like Rob Liefeld, and Rob he's talking business with Rob, and Rob's like, yeah, I got to go take a piss. And so like Rob's got the bathroom door open and he's taking the leak while he's talking to Robert Kirkman about different things they have. It was so funny. I was just Rob just seems like that guy. I mean, him and Todd have very similar energies. When I see Rob like do like a live video on his Instagram or something, it's like, hey guys, this is Rob. We're gonna be doing this. We got some Deadpool stuff. I'm gonna be giving this away. But he's got a lot. He's really enthusiastic about it. He's just announced that he's gonna be doing a Snake Eyes mini series or something like that, for IDW.
Yep.
I'm actually shocked about Rob though, because I thought Rob would have. Rob seems like he's not in the same financial space that a lot of the other Image founders are in. He's not broke by any means, and I'm just like, he's got a nice big house, but he doesn't have that kind of money like Mark Silvestri or Todd McFarlane, and obviously not like Jim Lee. I'd say Jim Lee is probably the second
well, like they said in one of those documentaries, he was spending a lot more than the other ones were.
Yeah, and that's the thing, So I was like, man, I thought Rob was always, whenever you would see like in Wizard magazine or whatever, that this property just got picked up by Hollywood. There was a lot of Rob Liefeld stuff that got like what was it, Evangeline? I know Evangeline got optioned, which it got optioned again a few years ago. I remember.
Yeah, there was Dark Child too.
Yeah. Dark Child, Evangeline.
There was supposed to be a Youngblood cartoon that got canceled.
There was a Youngblood cartoon, but it never really. I saw at least a little trailer. I mean, Rob showed it. Yeah, so I don't know if it's still on YouTube, but there is a trailer for the Youngblood cartoon. It just never aired. I don't know what they did with the animation.
I think the first one just since Wildcats wasn't a big success, I think they just dropped because it was supposed to be Wildcats, Youngblood, and Cyberforce.
Yeah, because what was it? I watched it was the USA Network used to air Savage Dragon, and I know that actually had a couple seasons. Like, so yeah, Eric's got plenty of money. Mark Silvestri's got plenty of money. Jim Lee obviously has plenty of money, and Todd has a ton of money. So I think Rob has a few million put back, but he's not in that space like the rest of those guys. Because I was like, man, he seems to be working way too hard for someone of his. Not to mention, he does get he gets a little cut of that Deadpool money that they making all kinds of Deadpool money.
X-Force, Cable.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, that's all. Those are all his babies. So I'm sitting there going, why is Rob, seem like he's not in the same space? Because he should be able to be, he should be able to have all kinds. But like I said, he, when you look on his Instagram, he got a nice big house. They go on vacations and they're in nice places. They're doing things, but it just seems like he has the work. He's doing way more signings than some of these other guys. So, like when Mark Silvestri announces he's like, all right, I'm gonna come out and I'll sign some stuff. It's a limited event. I know Rob's gonna be right back. Rob signing something here. Couple weeks later, hey, I will be here signing something, and I mean, and I've gone on his store and he just to sign something, he charged like $125. And it was like, which I understand because J. Scott Campbell's somebody that he charges I have one art book of his that my ex-girlfriend got for my birthday. And yeah, he charged like $100 to sign it, so
really?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I have it. And I was like, I was a big fan. J. Scott Campbell, huge fan of his.
Yeah.
It was,
Gen 13 was great.
Yeah. And I still have, I'd love to talk to him. Big fan. But like I said, I follow him on Instagram and on Twitter and stuff. But yeah, talking about somebody I've been a fan of for 30 years,
Yeah, I was disappointed that he didn't continue with Danger Girl, or remember the other one that he did, Wildlife, Wild something with people that had animal powers that were like holographic.
Yeah,
he did like 3-4 issues, I think, and that's it.
Yeah, but I was gonna say, isn't Danger Girl still at IDW? I thought. I mean, it's got obviously, but I mean, it's still. I thought he still owned the property, but he just let them put it out or where. I thought Danger Girl was at IDW. Maybe it's
That,
just
that
trade paperbacks or whatever though.
no. That's what they did. They continued. They have a few other serial other artists. You still
Yeah,
own
yeah.
part of it, but it's just the fact that
He's not.
it's
Yeah, he's not doing the interiors. But I
yeah.
noticed the reason I say that you can go on his online store and he'll have like Danger Girl variants and stuff like that. He's like, hey, Danger Girl, and he'll do the covers. You know what I'm saying? He does all the covers.
Another
And
one, another one I really like was Battle Chasers. That came out at the
yes,
same time, and that's another one that got that stopped right before the next issue was coming. Oh, it's canceled. I'm like,
what was
That's
that?
why.
I'm trying to think. The Battle Tape. That's what's that? Joe Mad.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I bought the big deluxe edition lately because you have the script of the final issue that didn't come out.
Because he had like a Kickstarter. That was some. I remember some people got mad at him about 2 weeks ago, where it came out that he had agreed to draw a couple of the issues or something when he crowdfunded it on Kickstarter, and he just went back and said that unfortunately he's not going to be able to keep his word on that, even though that was a big thing for backers that was get. So I saw some people had gotten a little upset about that because they were like,
Yeah,
yeah.
for the video game there.
Yeah, he was supposed to
Yeah.
do something for it, and because I saw somebody did a video on it on YouTube because you can see it on the Battle Chasers Kickstarter page or whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he had to announce that he wasn't able. And I don't know what all he's doing. There's a video of him on YouTube from like a year ago, and he was he's doing a lot of like concept art,
Yeah,
video game stuff,
that,
and stuff like that. But
that's what he's doing because he's technically the co-creator of Darksiders,
yeah,
the
so.
video game. So that's what he's into right now. And I remember the last thing he's like, I was thinking people are trying to get me into Battle Chasers, but I don't think I'll ever go back to it because the characters don't speak to him anymore. And I went like, ah,
Mm.
it's like it was one of your best series. Come on.
But yeah, I would love to talk to Joe. I would love to talk to him. I have so much of his Gen 13 stuff, a lot of his X-Men stuff, Danger
Mm-hmm.
Girl. I got all that stuff. I was buying all that. So,
Yeah, Joe Matt, I was a big fan of his.
oh, yes, I was just like I said, I big. This is like all those guys, all like the original Image founders.
Mm-hmm.
Sylvester, Liefeld, Jim Lee, Todd McFarlane.
All the
Look,
ones that all the ones that were at Marvel and being the greatest.
yeah, I was just, whew. But I actually mentioned Marvel should have, they should have been destroyed when all those Image guys walked.
They did. They went
Instead,
bankrupt.
but well, I mean, but that's the thing when a big business like that goes bankrupt and they have assets
Mm-hmm.
that can be. That's why that's why they got $1 billion movies in the you know what I'm saying.
It.
Obviously they because they got they got the Maybelline or whatever, the makeup
Mm-hmm.
company. They got bought and then they sold them again, and then somebody else bought them, and obviously they're owned by Disney now. And they lose money on the comic book side for Disney, but they make a ton of it in the movie side because they're like
Mm-hmm.
TV shows and so yeah,
But
it's like
don't forget, in the '90s they also went back to them and begging them to come back and revamp their characters. Remember, Jim
yeah,
Lee? They all went back to revamp the Marvel characters.
well yeah, and I saw Rob talked about that because Todd always goes, I'm the only Image guy that never went back because Eric Larson, yeah, everybody else went back.
Yeah.
Eric Larson went back, Jim Lee went back, Sylvester went back, Liefeld went back like 3 or 4 times and still going back.
I
you know,
think the only one is McFarlane never went back.
Yeah, and he's proud of that. He goes, I never went back. He said
Mm-hmm.
once I said I wasn't going back. I never went back. And he's proud of that. He's like, I just that's something for me. I felt like if I fell back into that trap of having to draw somebody else's properties, I don't want to, I don't want to have to do that. So I respected the hell out of McFarlane for that. I was like the fact that he I just okay, so yeah, I really let me see. Okay, I got a question from Jam Creates. He said, "What do you think about Liefeld doing a Snake Eyes book for IDW?" You must have just came in because we mentioned that. But that's
The only issue I have with Liefeld is honestly it's the people that he disappointed in his Kickstarter and Indiegogo. I just hope he's gonna make do.
yeah, that's
Because
shocking. That's another reason why I say because he only raised on the Kickstarter. He only raised what 35,000 or whatever.
yeah, but he went up to 40 something if I'm not mistaken afterwards because
Well, I know
he
he
did
raised
an
like another
extension.
5. I know he raised another 5 on the
Hmm.
Indiegogo.
And remember that when he launched it, that if he was getting funded, it was supposed to be a free issue, like Silvestri did, that you could pick up in your LCS for free, and it never happened. And me, when I saw it coming back on Indiegogo, I'm like, okay, I'm not getting behind that. This is no, nope, 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 nope. And he got funded, but still nobody has a book. So
Well, see, that's the
the
thing.
Kickstarter was 6 years ago, and when he did the Indiegogo, supposedly the book was already done and ready to ship.
Well, the reason I specifically, I talked with Richard C. Meyer about Richard C. Meyer actually backed the, what was it? He actually blacked what was the name of the team?
Brigade.
Brigade. Okay, yeah, he actually backed it. He backed it when it was on Indiegogo,
Mm-hmm.
and because he was just, I mean, he's a big fan of Rob's, and obviously I am as well. But
Mm-hmm.
that's another reason why when we were talking earlier, I said I think Rob is hurting for money. And that
Mm-hmm.
if someone knows different and can correct me, then please do. But you look at the facts. If he's got millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars, why is he, dicking people around for like 40, 45 grand?
Yeah, for one book.
He should have way more.
It's not even a series. It's just one book.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. If you got that kind of money, and from my understanding, like that Major X thing that he did with Marvel,
Mm-hmm.
they had to pay him like hundreds of thousands of dollars for that.
Yep.
And I still don't see a Brigade comic. That's what I'm saying. They didn't just pay him, all right, we'll give you $200 a issue or something. It's like he got paid hundreds of thousands of dollars,
Yep.
to do that. So it
And
seems a little
he
weird.
and he still has royalties and he still has everything. So it's kind of like you say. He probably has like really really bad money problems or something.
Yeah,
Or,
sounds like he
or
overextended himself.
yeah, because he seems to be everywhere now. So maybe he's trying to make up to trying to live up to the book. But I hope he does because that just say doesn't look good at all for Kickstarters and stuff. And it's not. Yeah.
Because I mean, think about it.
Especially
Okay.
when you like the guy.
Well, I mean, yeah. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Rob's.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, Rob Liefeld's, that's my childhood. Rob Liefeld, Todd McFarlane,
Mm-hmm.
Jim Lee, Mark Silvestri. Those are my artists.
Same
Obviously
here.
John Byrne. Yeah, it's just
Arthur Adams.
yeah, Art Adams for
Bart
sure.
Sears was great too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, man, that's what I'm talking about, man. It is like it was even like some old like early '80s, late '70s stuff like John Buscema or
Mm-hmm.
any of that.
Me, I was a big Bisley and Frazetta back then. When they started showing up here, the UK invasion. Simon Bisley when he did the Batman
Yes,
Judge Dredd thing,
yes.
dude. Then I went and ordered the one from the UK called Slain the Horn God. It's all if you haven't seen that one, wow.
I see you giving me some stuff I need to be checking out because I'm like, okay. But see, that's the thing. And let's see, got Adam Calamari in the chat who was on this channel yesterday. He said that's why we back Brand and Bloodhunt because we know we're getting it. And yeah, like I said, there is definitely a book coming from us. I
Yep.
know it's not being cranked out immediately, but something. It does seem a little odd that someone like Rob, who I thought had, back in the day, I thought Rob was sitting on at least $100-200 million. I
Mm-hmm.
thought, especially like right at the when Image was right before the comics crash, I thought Rob must have had at least 100 million, 70, 80 million in the bank because he was putting out more books than pretty much any other publisher. Because
Yeah,
it's
but
odd. Go
I
ahead.
was gonna say he also got sued a lot.
He got sued. He got sued by all the other image partners.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, so
Anna Barbara
he got
for
sued
for
by
Bad
the
Rock. Yeah.
estate of what was it? What Joe Simon's estate sued him.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
For what was it, Captain? No,
Fighting American.
Friend an American. Yeah.
Yeah, because okay, Rob does some shady stuff. Okay, so let's talk about Rob and Rob. If you ever hear this, I'm sure I'm a nobody on the internet, so I'm sure that this
So
should get back to you. But before I start talking shit about you, know that I love you. But I'm about to undress some of your shenanigans. That this is okay. So Rob created the Image Comics logo because he was still at Marvel at the time, but he wanted to sell some original art posters, and he needed to create an imprint to sell posters. So he created the Image Eye, what we have known as for over 25 years now, the classic Image Comics logo, the eye that was created exclusively by Rob Liefeld, and he owned it.
mm-hmm.
He already had a connection with the gentleman that owned Malibu Comics. They were putting out Men in Black and a couple of little small, and then they started doing that.
Dinosaurs for Hire. That was
Yeah,
great.
all that. Yeah, they were doing those little wacky comic books and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then they started the Ultraverse later on because I talked to Steve Englehart a few months ago on this channel. Matter of fact, I got to get that. I've got most of that video ripped from my archives, and I might be able to get some because I want to get that Steve Englehart interview back up because Steve Englehart's a legend.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact I was so proud that he agreed to come on my channel and talk to me. So such a nice man. But Steve talked about the Ultraverse thing because Marvel only bought the Ultraverse comic universe because they wanted the technology that Malibu had. They had that high gloss print and all that. They were still printing on newsprint or whatever, and they had like the computer printers and all. He was like, so Marvel's like, yeah, we can just buy everything, and then like about a year and a half, 2 years later, they just pretty much let everybody go, and except the more important people, of course.
Yeah, but like we all say, Malibu was like the start of what Image became in a way.
Yeah, but so okay,
They were associated when they started.
absolutely, and that's why I'm saying. So Rob had a connection with the Malibu Comics owner,
Mm-hmm.
and so he was putting his Image stuff out through him, and he had mentioned it to Todd, and Todd was like, "Do you think he might want?" I think actually in the Image Comics documentary, I think they said they all went to have, Rob was like, hey, I'm meeting such and such for dinner. You want to come? And they were talking, they were all sitting down, and he was like, hey, would you want to put out a comic by me? Because Rob was like, yeah, I'm thinking about putting this comic out, own comic out through Malibu. And Todd was like, if I had a comic, would you put one out by me? And the guy like kind of laughed and everything, was like, yeah, you're Todd McFarlane. Of course I would. And then they realized that they needed one more heavy hitter because they had kind of talked to Mark Silvestri, and he
Mm-hmm.
wasn't 100% sure that he wanted to make the jump. So they go, okay, if
But there's
we
also the fact that he was a bit underrated on that time.
yes, but they talked to Jim Lee. Todd was
Mm-hmm.
like, if we could get Jim Lee, if we could talk to Jim Lee and get Jim Lee to jump ship, because Jim Lee's like he's just like, hey, I'm just coming to work to earn a paycheck from because he was married even back then. He was
Yeah, like
married, had kids and stuff. And
like Todd said, he was the golden goose.
yeah, and that's the thing. So yeah, he was the golden goose, and so they were. So once they talked to Jim and they got him to agree to jump, and Mark was like, "Yeah, I'm in too." And all of a sudden, then they started bringing everybody. With Jim Valentino, and yeah, they just started bringing everybody in because Wilson, Jim are real tight, and so yeah, everybody was like, "Yeah, I'm down. Let's go." Eric Larson, yeah, let's go. Everybody left. So at that point, um, they never signed paperwork. They just created Image, and for whatever reason, when they signed the agreement, when they made this agreement with each other, Rob never actually gave all the partners legal rights to the Image Eye. He still owned the Image Eye, but he was just like, "You're my burros, you can use it." And they never got some kind of paperwork where the Image Eye actually belonged to the company.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I'm saying, that's why I have to call Rob out on some of this nonsense he be doing. So when Rob, when and then you get into the, which we talked about Michael Turner earlier. This was one of the things, because you got two names, Danny Meeke, who's a brilliant inker, and you have Michael Turner. And they had apparently had some kind of agreement with each other where, Mark Silvestri had Michael Turner over at Top Cow. And I know Michael Turner had apparently been approached. Mark Silvestri had apparently been approached by Danny about picking up some extra inking jobs. And Rob was like, we had an agreement where we weren't supposed to approach other people's talent. So Danny is supposed to be exclusive to Extreme Studios. Michael Turner is supposed to be exclusive to Top Cow, even though there's no real agreement. They just have a gentleman agreement in place.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently Danny, because he's an inker, he's trying to get more work. So he goes to Mike, to Mark Silvestri, and he goes, "Hey, you got anything you need me to ink? I'm happy to ink it for you." And so at that point, Rob was like, "Wait a minute. Danny's my inker and he's inking your books now. What's going on?" He feels like at that point, Mark Silvestri broke their agreement.
Yeah, and Mark Silvestri thought the same thing with Rob because he approached Turner. Yeah.
Well, the way Rob tells it, Michael Turner was looking for extra work, and Michael Turner talked to Rob, and he was like, "Hey, yeah, I've got some covers," and I know he did like a Glory cover and some stuff like. And so at that point, of course, it's the same thing where Michael Turner was talking to Rob, and he was like, "Yeah, I could pick up some extra work. I could use some extra work."
But
Hey,
wasn't that then when Turner was mainly doing the backgrounds of Silvestri?
yeah,
Before it was before his big breakout, because the biggest breakout
exactly.
in Ballistic.
And at that point, but like I said, Rob and Mark to this day seem like they kind of remember it different. Either way, but like I said, those two names, Danny Meeke and Michael Turner.
Yep.
So Mark gave Danny Meeke some jobs. Rob felt like that was a violation, but he was like, "Hey, I'm cool with Mark. I don't have a problem with Mark." So he didn't feel like there was a problem when he talked to Michael Turner, and he gave Michael some jobs doing some covers and stuff. And so he was like, "Hey, there's no problem." But when you hear Mark talk about it in the Image thing, he had a problem with that. He was like, "Hey, we had a agreement that we wouldn't poach the other's talent."
Mm-hmm.
Now, I guess he didn't think having Danny do ink work for him was the same. So he didn't have a problem with it. At that point in time, I know Mark had talked to some of the other guys that he was starting, and then it sounded like Rob was doing some other stuff. He had created that Maximum Press because it seemed like things were starting to happen. The Maximum Press thing, and that's because that's where he rolled Evangeline out. I've still got my first appearance of Evangeline, which I don't know if it'll ever make that movie like it's supposed to, but I still have my Maximum Press Evangeline #1 and all that. But at that point in time, we start having all that bad blood between them two, and then you start hearing these little rumblings. Jim Lee had started talking like he was thinking about sales were starting to dip a little bit. Things started happening, and then Rob, I know they did the Heroes Reborn thing, and Jim, and because apparently it was supposed to be all the Image guys when they did it. They were supposed to all come back and get a huge payday from Marvel and then still be able to go back to Image, but obviously Todd didn't want to do that. And it just Then you get things like Rob Liefeld's very infamous barrel-chested Captain America. That barrel-chested Captain America, it's 30
Yeah.
some odd years later, and you're still that's you know how many memes I've seen with that barrel-chested Captain America?
But it's, dude, it did traumatize most people because you have to admit, when you saw it, we all went like, the hell?
That's why I'm saying that's when you know whether you love Rob Liefeld or hate him,
Yep.
they're still talking about something he did 30 years ago.
And they all remember that stuff differently. If you listen to Jim Lee, he has his own way of seeing it, and he has his own way of seeing the how Image ended. Like, to him, is the fact that they were too greedy, like they got too big too fast
Yes.
with the universe, and they kind of ate themselves, and the competition wasn't turned into not being a healthy competition where like we still have in Comicsgate in most of it, where we're mainly friends and we'll draw together and get the other one to be better.
Yeah.
It turned into the unhealthy one, which just ate everything. If you listen to Todd, it's them going back to Image that ruined everything.
Yeah, and it's just
If they went back to Image, they went back to Marvel, so you just broke everything that Image. People don't believe Image anymore.
well, see, yeah, and that's the thing. And Todd still talk, and that's the thing. Todd was at the Venom premiere and everything. He was there. David Michelini, and Rob Liefeld took photos together at the Venom premiere when they released the movie last year and everything. He still, he signed a few things for Marvel books and stuff. He has a decent, cordial business relationship with Marvel Comics. They've begged him to come back and do like a Spider-Man one shot, Spider-Man Spawn. They've begged him, and he's like, no, I'm busy trying to build Image Comics up. That's what I'm doing. That's my focus. He doesn't want to work on anything. And I was like, I would love Spawn Spider-Man because he did Batman Spawn.
Yes, and did the one that got canceled? They were supposed to redo another one with Greg Capullo, and it got canceled. Did you see that they freaking teased the fact that they might be back on the table? They
Well,
they, they reshared the image last time, and I'm like, oh
yeah.
god.
Well, Todd is signing stuff at the DC, or he was yesterday. He was signing stuff at the DC table.
Oh, guy, that has to happen.
Todd was signed because DC signed that 3-year or 4-year deal, which I know starts next year with McFarlane Toys. He's got like the license on DC properties, and one of the things they sculpted was what was that cover of Batman he did where Batman had the cape like blowing all crazy and everything. But that's a classic Batman cover, and they did a toy of that, a little sculpture. And I mean, these are all things. It sounds like DC has some really cool stuff coming from McFarlane Toys.
But they just said that DC have been recruiting most of the talent that Marvel have been neglecting. You could say they've been picking up everyone. They have all the greatest artists are at DC right now, almost.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It seems like whatever happened,
including Bradshaw.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just saying, whatever happened with Marvel when Todd left, he could have easily done a Spawn Spider-Man and gotten paid a ton of money a long time ago. And if he did it now, they put like 20 variants on it, and I know he'd sell 800,000 copies or whatever. I know they would do big numbers if he went back and did Spawn Spider-Man now.
But I totally understand why he doesn't, because fans would want it to happen again. That's the thing. He's been identified with that so long. It's like, remember Jim Lee? Jim Lee, we all identify him, like he drew Alpha Flight, he drew the Punisher, but we all know him for drawing the X-Men. And everybody, when you think X-Men, Jim Lee, everybody thinks of his freaking Wolverine.
No, yeah, no doubt.
Right? So
absolutely.
If he would go back, him going back to it, people just want to see him do it again. So I understand why Todd is like, if I go back, people would just want me to do some more Spider-Man again.
But I mean, the good thing about being Todd McFarlane is you're Todd McFarlane. I'm saying you could be like, hey, I'm not, you made the fans wait this long, and like I said, you had no problem doing Spawn and Batman together, and you got Frank Miller to write it, and I still have that issue. But
yeah,
saying he could make a ton of money. And so,
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
Everybody would buy that series if you could just come up with one book with Spawn and Spider-Man. That's just like everybody would buy it.
and so that's why I'm saying so. Like Todd, but like I said, Todd, for whatever reason, seems to have a issue with Marvel comics that he doesn't have with DC.
Mm-hmm.
Because I suspect if Marvel was like, "Hey Todd, why don't you sculpt these toys for us?" He'd be like, "Yeah, let's do it."
Yeah, but just listen to Ethan. Ethan explained it a few times. Marvel don't treat their artists like DC do. DC
Yeah,
give them better royalties. They treat them better. Well,
they
Marvel they
definitely
give
give better royalties. That's a fact.
better royalties, better page rate, and you actually have a contract, and they don't force you to make a book in a month. They want quality.
Mm,
It's a different thing. Like Ethan said it, they get good royalties. It's not like that if you go to Marvel.
mm.
Right?
Yeah.
There's the fact that DC always been respecting their characters. Okay, they're going a bit SJW a bit later, but they're trying to test the gun, but they're not as bad as freaking Marvel.
That is very true. That
And
is
right
very.
and right now Marvel is pretty much just what we call in the medium illustrative art, where
Mm,
it's not actually like trying to get the best artists out there to get their own style. No, no, they want everything that looks a bit similar, simpler than anybody could do.
mm.
And it's bringing the grade of Marvel a lot down a lot, and you get those comics that it's like, hey, one full issue of drinking Starbucks coffee and chatting.
Interesting. That's what, but I mean, that's true because, like I said, Ethan has talked about. It seems like Ethan definitely seems to have a better relationship with the DC people, especially like someone like Dan DiDio. He obviously
Hmm.
has a better relationship with him
Ethan said
than
it. He'd go work for them if they wanted.
if it
He
was beneficial. Yes,
Yeah,
I
but
definitely think that
he wouldn't go to Marvel.
is. And that's actually crazy. But I wanted you to. What plans do you have for Blood Hunt? Tell me more about that.
Bloodhunt. The actual plan is that book is a self-contained story, but it's planned to have two sequels, and the last one is that the actual ending of it. So it's technically like the first issue will be that one. It's the vengeance story, the origin one. The second one should be the fall and rise, and the last one is redemption, and we go in the future. So you actually get the conclusion to the story, leaving a little in between if I want to do something else. But it's actually planned to be a three-part period. But it can also just stand by itself.
Okay. And then so you got you said 62 pages. I think you
Six,
said
64 pages of
64.
story.
Okay. So
Yeah,
oh wow,
si-
that's a lot of
64 pages of story. Yep.
wow.
But
That is
how can I say? I've been a, I'm a fan of Ethan, right? I've
right.
been following his stuff for a while, and same thing with Zach, uh, Tug, War Campaign, and I've seen everybody doing 48 pages, and I'm also on the side of I see it the same way as Ethan. That the monthly comic is pretty much dead, right? Because the people that are buying it, they actually want to read. Like we all wait to have 5 issues to read them, right? The
Right.
floppies, we never really like. We read the first one, we wait, we have 5, we read them. And I like the fact that when he said that he wanted to see it like, if he was working on Harry Potter, right? You have one novel every year or two. Well, this is what European comics do. So that's where my idea came
Mm.
from. It's like let's treat it like a book, but I have a movie approach to it. I see comics like movies, and I went, okay, let's take the European approach where they have 60 between 56 to 64 pages book, where you have enough room to tell a full story. You could just do one movie, like just one shot, and you
Mm.
can do it one volume every year or two. So my entire plan is the fact that I have Blood Hunt, I have a sci-fi story called Nat the Merc, I have Wolf Dragon aligned, and after that I have an anthology of 5 short story called Opera Omnia, which in Latin for collection of epic story. And everything is to have like I can make 3 to 4 book a year, and the idea is to be able to have like one IP out every year or two.
Wow. Okay, so you actually that's good because like I said, I've got things kind of blueprinted out and laid out of how I want the brand story to go. I know this first arc, and um, that is
Oh,
yeah.
I've been preparing and working since the end of 2017 for this.
Oh wow, yeah, it
See,
sounds like it, man. That's amazing, man. And I was like, and again, I'm really happy you got funded. Let me actually look and see
see,
what kind of traction we've gotten.
this is my first
Maybe
creation, the wolf dragon. Here's a little sample. This is the character called the wolf dragon. He's the last dragon born in human form. He's raised by an immortal knight, and he's been alive since the year for 360. It's
that
highly
looks really cool.
it's highly inspired by the Arthurian legends and all those myth and legends from Shakespeare's and everything. So
Ooh.
I also have Nat the Merc. Let me show you a little something. I've been working on some redesign and concept art. So here's a little sample. This is Nat.
Let's see. A minute. Oh, okay.
This is
I
from the
got you.
comic.
Okay.
This is from the comic that I'm working on. I'm actually working on the first 3 pages. And you also have this character in there called Lowani, because you like ladies, right? We all like ladies. Here's Lowani.
Very much so. I
That's gonna
see
be a
you,
Nat.
boo. Now she got some nice abs there.
Yeah,
Looks like the abs are, yeah, she's
she's
very toned.
she's very athletic. She's also a synthetic being. In that universe,
Ah, okay.
in that universe, in the Natverse, she's the only one that's like that. She was the first one, and she's the only one that's fully synthetic. And you also have
Okay.
like,
So let me
yeah,
go, go ahead. Oh, I was just saying you're at let's see, what was it, 4,105. So you've at least gotten a sale or two
yeah,
since we started this.
yes, we did. I was at, yeah. Thank you, whoever. If you're in the chat, thank you
And
very much.
that is awesome. That is what we want to do. Please help support these creators. And but
And
yeah, man. Man, this is great, man. You had a lot of maybe we can do this again. I'd love to have you back on. Really,
I
I
would
can
love
talk to
to.
you all day, man. Uh, but um, but but man, this is great.
Can I
How
just
can people? Oh, please go ahead.
I just wanted to precise one thing because we stopped there. You know that cover there, the variant cover. It's actually gonna be black and white. It's gonna be like the full black and white edition. So the book is black and white
Oh,
inside.
okay. So this is gonna okay. So it's gonna be color.
Yeah, because a lot of fans
Hmm.
said that they really like my black and white and they would have liked to have a cover in black and white. So that's what I did.
Ah,
So I think I will
okay.
do what you told
Yeah.
me, and I think I will redraw it originally and probably add it for people to buy
Hey, like I said, there's a lot of art fans out here, man.
it.
You can definitely sell it. I see the man John Malin out there in the chat, man. Graveyard Shift 2 is out here killing the game right now.
Yeah. Can't wait
Yeah,
to
I
get.
mean,
I can't wait to get it. I love the first one. Hell, Malin. Hell, Coach.
yeah, 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 I'm definitely back in Graveyard Shift 2 and whatever else Mr. Malin puts out. A big fan of his.
Yep. Same here.
John, we got to get you on, baby. We got to get you on to talk about your book, man. Help you sell some more copies of the book. It's like let me know, man, because I definitely want to have you on.
Another one
But
that's gonna be big. Another one that's gonna
whew,
be big
all
is
right.
Cal
So
Ritter's
how
Starblade.
can if I am hearing your voice here on the YouTube? Yeah, I'm definitely back in
Yep.
that as well. Mr. Ritter show those. But how can people reach out to you there, Simon, if they want to check you out, if they want to touch base with you or whatever? How can they reach out to you on social media?
You can find me on Twitter and on YouTube. I started doing some streams on my YouTube channel under Simon Pothier. You can find me on Facebook also under the Art of Sim. And I also have an Instagram under Simon Pothier. And I put the sim there because there's a lot of Simon Pothier. So if you don't want to follow a pianist or somebody else, don't forget Simon Pothier.
All right, guys. This has been a fantastic conversation. I have enjoyed talking to Simon Pothier. Really had it was like, man, I was like, this is a great conversation. I hope you guys enjoyed it because I did.
Me too.
Appreciate him taking the time to stop by the channel and have a conversation with me. Please, please, please go out and support his book, Bloodhunt. It is there on the Indiegogo. It is still live. If you want to snag a copy, please just look in the description there. It's also been dropped into the chat. Some of the mods have dropped it in the chat. Appreciate that. Also, Aaron Calamari, I saw the $2 super chat. Thank you for that, sir. Appreciate you. Any little bit helps. Please, keep supporting these independent creators. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. But with that being said, I'm going to wrap this video up. And if you guys want to reach out to me, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and right here on this YouTube channel, everywhere is at Akari Press. And if you type in akaripress.com, it will take you directly to my Indiegogo campaign for my comic book series brand with the phenomenal Kanan White. We're on Teespring. We're on Amazon.com. The links to those are in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm out.
Thank you. Bye.